Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Tom Johnson begins now.
The state government has come under fire from its political opponents after scrapping mask-wearing requirements in non-clinical hospital settings. But the Health Department is backing its move, saying the low COVID-19 risk levels allow for the rules to be eased.
Described as a transition to business as usual, hospital staff, patients and visitors are no longer required to wear personal protective equipment in areas where patient care isn't provided. Locations including the cafeteria, corridors outside a clinical area, office settings, laboratories and pharmacies. The Greens hitting back against the decision.
Business as usual for an airborne virus means mask wearing in settings where there will be people who are COVID positive.
Citing a high volume of interaction in hospitals.
We're going to have doctors and nurses and patients and visitors moving between wards and around the hospital, sometimes with masks on, sometimes with masks off.
While Labor is calling for transparency on how the decision was reached.
It's the government's responsibility to make these decisions based on public health advice. They should release that advice if they're confident in the decision.
The de-escalation coming into effect early tomorrow morning, despite warnings from the Australian Medical Association to increase protections ahead of winter, with concerns for what it will mean for Tasmanian hospitals already grappling staff shortages.
There has been a large number of people who have been infected with COVID in hospitals, so the potential for transmission is high.
Despite the changes, the Launceston General Hospital will maintain a high level of mask wearing due to its COVID escalation level. State Health Commander Catherine Morgan-Wiggs says it will be monitored across all facilities, confirming PPE requirements are adjusted to suit the level of COVID risk. Brianna Boylan, 7 Tasmania News.
The state government has laid out its plan to sustain Tasmania's small business sector into the future through a new strategy. $1 million in grants will be available as a result to fund a variety of projects to improve operations on the ground. It's a move that's being welcomed by industry figures.
Having a strategy, having some money, having some plans to put that together so that we can beat the rest of the world's competition is very positive.
We're looking for projects that address the people issue. Have you got the staff you need? Have you got the workplace culture right? Have you got what you need to enlarge your business?
Applications will open on March 7, with more information available on how to apply through the Business Tasmania website. A Hobart street has been transformed into a Greek village for the day, with the return of an annual festival honouring the culture. Painting the town blue and white, the atmosphere brought in large crowds who were eager to celebrate.
Mouth-watering meat, a sizzling delight for the hungry Tasmanians, eager for a bite.
My Greek friend told me to come get us the barbecue. I've heard good things about the honey puffs as well, so goose, sour savoury, and then sweet probably. Yeah.
Packing into Federal Street for the Estia Greek festival, the cultural staple has been drawing a crowd for over a decade.
Usually it takes about 6 or 7 months to get organised. We've done it in 2 this year, so it's been pretty hectic, pretty rushed, but like all things that Greeks organise, it comes together on the day.
Stall holders dishing up their finest offerings, from sweets to savoury. There was something for all taste buds.
From char-grilled octopus through to wrapped souvlakis, food for vegetarians. We've got a bit of everything on offer.
The day simply not complete without ouzo.
Our point of difference is that we use local Tasmanian botanicals, which gives it that smoothness of flavour and just a unique taste.
But it wasn't all about the food. Festival goers looking to embrace the spirit of the event were encouraged to get involved and learn a few steps of traditional dance.
Today's for the non-Greeks. We want to share our culture with the wider community.
Weeks of practice for these performers paying off, the sounds of Greece ringing out across the city.
This is the 26th year that we're doing it. Most festivals only last for 7 or 8 years, so I think we've got the right recipe. We're doing all right.
Grace Evans, 7 Tasmania News.
Relatives of the 2nd 40th Battalion have gathered in Hobart to mark 78 years since the end of World War II. They're honouring the memory of the soldiers who fought in the battalion and were captured by Japanese forces before being sent to prisoner of war camps in 1942. Upon returning home from the war, members of the group would meet each year.
A strong bond of mateship developed into an unbreakable bond.
More than 90% of the battalion were Tasmanian, and while they have now all passed, their family members are making sure their courage and bravery is never forgotten. An iconic Hobart hotel is embracing its historical attributes, undergoing a major facelift to protect the vintage exterior. Restoration work on the facade of Hadley's has kicked off with a plan to revitalise the outside of the building to its Victorian-era heyday.
We're approaching our 190th birthday next year, and it's just perfect timing to make sure that our asset's in good order and that everybody can enjoy Hadley's on the street for what it is.
The project will take up to 12 weeks to complete, with minimal disruptions expected for guests and the public. Tasmania's dismal weather has made for perfect sailing conditions on the final day of the 19th Crown Series Bellreeve Regatta. Racing group and performance cruiser keel boats were seen slicing through the River Derwent before the dinghies had their fun.
We attract people from all around the state. The majority are from either Bellreeve and the Derwent Sailing Squadron and the Royal Yacht Club on the other side of the river, but we do get some that come down from the north.
The regatta wrapped up late this afternoon with celebrations expected to continue well into the night. Some of the state's youngest cattle men and women have spent the last few days learning from the best in the business. The Tasmanian Junior Beef Expo wrapping up today, leaving young minds more confident in their heifer handling skills.
Beefing up the next generation of industry leaders. Dozens of young cattle handlers have heard the call, flocking to Deloraine to take part in the state's 7th Junior Beef Expo.
We are a camp that teaches the kids how to show beef cattle and also the industry around the agriculture and the beef cattle.
Competitors aged 8 to 25 have been learning the tricks of the trade throughout the 3-day camp.
We've had some really good talks on the nutrition, like clipping, blow torching. Yeah, just a few really good, interesting talks. You can get a lot out of it.
I learned a lot about clipping because it's just something I haven't done much of. So that was a good learning experience.
I love the handling classes, and today I came 3rd, which was pretty good.
Giving the younger generation the opportunity to grow their skills through a range of hands-on workshops.
It takes them back to basics as well, which a lot of people forget, but it gives them the opportunity to go further within the industry and find out what pathline they would like to go down.
Also offering up some healthy competition.
We do a junior judging competition, so that is obviously where the kids judge cattle. We have a herdsman competition. Our herdsman, Grand Champion herdsman, win a heifer that has been kindly donated by Richmond Hill Angus this year.
You pretty much go out against your own age groups, and then the judges pick on certain things on who does the best, and then who does the best is the winner.
Providing our rising stars with more experience and confidence as they learn the ropes. McKenna Bailey, 7 Tasmania News.
It's considered one of the greatest comebacks in any level of cricket. Tasmania was facing an uphill battle against a surging South Australia in the WNCL final, rain causing havoc with play. But Sarah Coit had magic up her sleeve to bring the Tigers a 2nd successive title.
With heads held high, Tasmania entered South Australia's innings with a respectable score. 264 runs helped by Elise Villani's century. And it was going to plan, the Tigers bowlers keeping runs to a minimum.
There's half a shout and it's gone!
But once Courtney Webb and Emma DeBrusk stepped up to the crease, they looked unstoppable.
She punches that ball through point for 4. Stalenberg won't get to that one.
Tassie-born Webb hitting 83, DeBrusk 68, although the tide seemed to turn for the Tigers.
That's one in the air and it's caught! There's the breakthrough. DeBrusk is gone for 68.
Rain delays threatening to put a dampener on Tasmania's quest for back-to-back titles. The Scorpions back on the attack with a reduced target of 243. Blunston Arena's wet surface, no home ground advantage.
There might be a couple here. Kerry dives and Kerry can't get there. That might be the game.
South Australia needed 4 runs from 6 balls to win, But something magical happened in the final over.
Down the wicket, and she is bowled.
Annie O'Neill bowled out Gemma Barsby, stumped by Emma Mannix-Jeeves. Amanda Jade Wellington run out by a ricochet of quite stretched hands.
Can you believe this? Can you believe it?
Ella Wilson out by LBW. The final blow, Anusu Mushangwi ran out by captain Elise Villani.
It's a single and it won't be enough. The Tigers have won it. They've gone back to back. Can you believe that?
5 wickets in 1 over, securing back-to-back finals victories in the WNCL.
Look, that was incredible. Something I'm not rushing back to do again. That was, pretty speechless, to be honest.
I'm just going to have to bowl at the stumps, try and get under their bat, and we're not losing this game. So, yeah, it was nice to feel calm and clear out there.
One for the history books, for players and Tasmanians alike. Mark Zita, 7 Tasmanian News.
Superstar import Milton Doyle has capped off a sensational NBL season with Tasmania after being named the club's most valuable player. He was recognised for his consistency and stellar performances on the floor, as voted by the coaches, with the honour handed down at a ceremony inside the home of the Jack Jumpers last night.
It's amazing just knowing you get it from the club and you're a peer, so it's an amazing feeling. For me, Tasmania has been great. It's like a second home for me now.
The work now begins for the organisation to retain the American talent for another year in the competition. Tasmania's best up-and-coming footballers have had the opportunity to impress recruiters at Launceston Silverdome today. Those in the under-16 and 18 Devils programs have been put through their paces, undergoing a series of physical tests in front of 9 AFL and 6 AFLW clubs.
So that's something that in the AFLW space we've been able to add, so we're really excited about having them down for the first time. It's just great experience for the players. They get, for a lot of them, they get their first interviews and first testing experience, which is awesome.
This year's Devils fixtures have been released, with the girls beginning their campaign on March 18 at UTAS Stadium. The boys will start their season in Penguin on April 1. Drivers James Simpson and Ben Grice have walked away from a crash during the Trans Ams at Symmons Plains today. Grice slowed down after experiencing mechanical failure when Simpson collected his car.
It's James Simpson. What has happened there?
Both drivers emerged unscathed from the incident.
Good evening. 25 was the state's top in Launceston today. Burnie 24, 21 across Hobart and Devonport. 22 in Low Head, 21 across St Helens and Strawn and 18 in Lyweenie. On the close-up, low to high-level cloud is seen over Tasmania, mostly around the northeast. Further out shows an extensive cloud band with embedded thunderstorms covering most of Australia's tropics. Tomorrow, a low is seen over eastern Tasmania is at the end of a trough extending from the Northern Territory. Variable winds tomorrow reaching 15 knots about the central north, swells up to 3 metres in the west and south and up to 1 metre in the north. A strong wind warning is current for Flinders Island and the upper east coast. Tomorrow's forecast now, Hobart a possible shower, 20 in Dover, ooze 23. In the north, Launceston and Devonport expecting a late shower or two, 23 in Scottsdale. Burnie and Stanley tomorrow, partly cloudy, 20 in Strawn. St Helens and Swansea cloudy and 22 in Ross. The UV forecast is very high 8s across the state. Looking ahead to the 3-day forecast now, Tuesday showers about the north extending statewide in the afternoon. Wednesday showers mostly about the west, far south and north in the evening, and Thursday showers about the west. Capital cities 36 and mostly sunny in Perth tomorrow, Adelaide 26 and partly cloudy in Sydney. And currently Hobart 17 and cloudy, Launceston 22 and Devonport 21 and mostly sunny. That's all in weather tonight, Tom.
Love your work, thanks Jackie, and that's all your news for now. Thank you so much as always for joining us. Kim Miller will be back in the chair tomorrow night. From the weekend team for now, it's good night.